Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, today we've got a really interesting story. It's about how one of the biggest tech companies on the planet just disappeared, became a total ghost in a market where they should have been king, and, believe it or not, how just one event managed to turn it all around. So you might be thinking, how does that even happen? Well, for Intel in Saudi Arabia, this was a very, very real problem. We're going to break down exactly what happened because honestly, it's a huge lesson for any big brand out there that thinks just showing up with a famous name is enough. Spoiler alert, it's not. I mean, think about it. Intel getting ignored? It sounds kind of crazy, right? But that's exactly what was going on. Saudi Arabia's tech scene is exploding. It's moving super fast. And Intel had this massive blind spot. They were a global giant for sure, but locally, they just weren't even in the conversation. And this slide really shows you what that meant on the ground. You know, for all of Intel's power worldwide, their competitors, we're talking AMD, NVIDIA, IBM, they were just running the show in Saudi Arabia. They had all the connections, everyone knew who they were. And Intel, well, they were just sitting on the bench, completely out of the game. You see, it's one thing to be a little quiet, but they were basically invisible. I mean, get this, the most important tech journalists in the country didn't even know Intel had an office there. So what happens? No media coverage, like at all. No buzz. And anytime they tried to hold an event, it was just crickets. Nobody showed up. Okay, so how do you even begin to fix a problem that big? Well, Intel and their agency, a group called NettResults, they knew that just, sending out a few press releases wasn't going to do anything. They needed something big, a single high-impact move that could basically flip the whole chessboard over. And here's what they came up with. One single, really powerful event. A media roundtable. Now, this was not just another boring press conference. No way. This thing was designed from the ground up, like a surgical strike, to fix every single one of their problems all at once. The goal was to rebuild those burnt bridges, tell their story about AI, and just start fresh. But look, anyone can book a room and send out some emails, right? An event like this only works because of the strategy behind it, and that's where the real genius is. So let's dig into how they actually pulled this off. Okay, so their whole plan really rested on three main ideas. Pillar number one, localize everything. They took Intel's global message and made it all about Saudi Arabia's own digital goals. Super smart. Second, they stopped just talking about chips and started telling a story, positioning themselves as a key partner for the country's future in AI. And third, and this might be the most important bit, they just focused on building relationships, making their team real people you could talk to. So, the big question, did it work? Did all this planning actually pay off? Oh, yeah. The results weren't just good, they were an absolute game changer. Let's get into the stunning turnaround. And it really all starts with this one number, 38. Now remember, this is a company that could barely get anyone to show up to their events before. And now, for this one roundtable, they got 38 journalists and media reps in the room. Just incredible. And to really put that into perspective for you, their goal, which they thought was a real stretch, was to get 15 people to come. 15. They didn't just hit that goal, they blew it out of the water. More than doubled it. I mean, talk about a total 180. And what's really crucial here is that it wasn't just about packing the room. It was about who was in the room. And they got the A-listers. We're talking the biggest names in Saudi media, from major newspapers like Al Riyadh to Saudi TV to huge online sites. These were the people they absolutely had to win over. So think about the ripple effect here. This one event completely changed everything for them. The wins were real and they happened fast. They crushed their attendance goal, coverage was popping up everywhere, and all of a sudden, journalists were calling them, asking for interviews and product reviews. Just like that, they were back in the game, shoulder to shoulder with their biggest rivals. The takeaway here is so clear, isn't it? A smart, focused, local strategy can do what a big global name sometimes can't. Intel literally went from being a nobody in the market to a leader in the conversation. It just goes to show you, even for the biggest of the big, that real, genuine connection on the ground, that's everything. Yeah, this story really proves it. A global brand is only as strong as its local roots. And sometimes it's not about a huge budget or a massive campaign. It's about one smart, targeted move that can change the entire narrative. So it kind of leaves you with a question to think about, right? What's the one key relationship, the one move, that can totally transform your story?